Today's adventure starts off at Eaton Canyon, one of the most popular hiking trails in Altadena, California. I've been here many times before, but didn't realize that there was an actual nature center and wanted to check it out briefly before we started our hike. It was just a unique, tiny space where you can learn more about the different plants and animals around the Altadena area. This is also a perfect spot to go to the bathroom prior to heading out on your hike. Soon thereafter, I headed towards the group where our wonderful guide and our naturalist, whom he had introduced himself as Barefoot Joel, had briefly spoke to us on what to do and what to expect.
Since we've had a few days of dryness and warmth, there's some of those mushrooms have already sort of shrunk or disappeared. So just keep your mind open to whatever we can find. As I say, the journey is just as important as the destination. And,
Go barefoot?
I'm gonna go barefoot. Hopefully I can survive.
Here we had walked over onto the trail. And suddenly, Barefoot Joel had stopped in front of a specific plant that had sparked some interest.
Exciting. So, do we recognize this plant right here?
Is that poison ivy?
Not to touch. So, is it poison ivy?
Poison oak.
Poison oak. So, poison ivy is related to poison oak. What's distinctive to you about this plant?
There's 3 leaves.
So, you're showing me, so there's a pattern here.
Here, learning and interacting with the naturalist was one of my favorite parts. He had asked us questions to test our knowledge, but would also work through the answers by providing clues and hints of what the answers could be. Interacting with him and just trying to discover the answer added so much more value to this whole process, and I really loved it.
What's distinctive to you besides the number pattern of 3?
It's very shiny.
Very shiny. So does anybody know what that is all over the leaves?
Is it the oils?
So there's a type of oil. Does anybody know the kind? It starts with a U. It's called urushiol oil.
At times I felt like I was in jeopardy, trying to figure out what the answers were to these questions. And it wasn't until a few interactions with the hikers that I suddenly felt like I was surrounded by many brilliant-minded individuals.
And this oil, obviously if I touch my hand on it, it can get distributed all over the place. How do you get oil off? Soap, water, and friction. Touch this plant and I have access to soap and water and friction, like a towel or something. Then you can basically put the soap over the area, rub it off, and then rinse and repeat, making sure you're getting all of the oil removed as quickly as possible. And it's actually not poisonous. If you eat it, it's not going to kill you. So that's good to know, right? Like if I took a new leaf right now, take this little one right here.
What the?
And I'm going to eat it up. So this helps with my immunity to poison oak. If you do this, you're doing it at your own risk. And I don't want to have to call the authorities on the way out, you know, so. Oh, Diana's feeling brave today. Tastes like grape leaves, personally. So, wow, she's going barefoot too. All right. So one of the things I always say is, you know, you want to put out a positive vibe with all this stuff. I love you, Poison Oak. Thank you for the gift of being here and for nourishing me. Hopefully we can put that vibe out with everything out here. All right, so we're going to cross the creek. One of the main reasons I chose this park is because of all those tall trees on the other side of the creek there.
Are you gonna eat one?
I want to take one.
Oh my god, that's gonna be scary.
Look how cute it is.
Oh, so cute. Alright, we're gonna go.
I'll eat it at home.
So cool. My friend Diana had invited me to go foraging for mushrooms, and she got a naturalist to take us on the hike to Eaton Canyon. We just saw some poison oak, and then now we're just about to cross the river. But holy crap, that's a lot of water. I haven't seen it that much. Oh my god, that's so much water. I haven't seen it like that.
And for the first time that I've ever been here in LA and at Eaton Canyon, we had to cross a creek due to all the rainfall LA has experienced these past few months. It was here when Joel started to explain the mushroom ecosystem. a network of microscopic fungal threads beneath the
Mycelium in
surface.
all directions and connect with other trees and plants. And what it allows the tree to do is to get nutrients from the mushroom, and the mushroom gets nutrients from the tree. And this is a communication network that you have. They're all interconnected, so this is a community right here.
I've actually learned about this on Netflix through their documentary, which talks about mushrooms in general. It was really cool to use the knowledge that I gained and to actually apply it here in real life.
What's the scientific word for mushroom? Myco, yeah. Does anybody know what a fancy word for root is? They have something that runs underground, starts with an R. It's not root, it's rhizome. Rhizome, there you go. The types of mushrooms that have a relationship with the roots of trees and plants are called mycorrhizal.
Joel would talk about the different kinds of mushrooms and their properties.
Oh, wow.
Is that?
Look at that.
You still touch it?
Oh my gosh, we got something really weird right here. I don't even know for sure what that is.
It could be like food.
You can pass it around. There's more pieces here if you want to check it out. And then we have this.
Behind the trunk of this tree, we were able to find some turkey tail
Could be like
mushroom.
food that's dripped out like a.
It looks like
could be.
gum. Yeah.
Almost looks like ice cream.
No, but that's a huge gum.
Yeah. It could be somebody's food. No, I think this is just newer stuff. So we're getting all the different stages now, which is cool. So you can see the bright coloring there of newer formed. And you can see this branch dying. So we're definitely seeing a saprophytic mushroom right here.
And we
Mushroom that-
continued towards what looked like Eaton Canyon's trailhead, but instead, we veered to the right towards the tall grassy fields.
So pretty.
Here we stopped briefly as Joel described the various plants around this area, where we could find black and white sage, as well as elderberries.
If you look at that sagebrush, it does not have a square stem. It does not have stacked flower clusters. It does not have opposing leaves. So it is completely fooling us. That's what it says.
I have never walked this way before.
These are the sorts of the ideal scenarios for those who didn't hear.
And as we continued onwards, we started wandering around the trees in search to find various things on our own.
Because the key is we want to look at the environment that is
Oliver had found an oak gall, which is this round thing that you see in his hand.
Remember that gall? It's like an empty gall. Feel the weight of it. It's really light, right?
Very light.
Because it's probably like it was filled with larvae.
We're trying to find mushrooms out in here. I don't know if I can find one. We are looking for mushrooms.
finding anything? Yeah, no. We got something? Here. Oh.
Unfortunately for me, I was only able to find an acorn. I noticed that the group formed around a specific plant and thought I should head over to see what it was all about.
All right, so that's an amanita. That's an Amanita muscaria. For whatever reason, if you eat a poisonous amanita, and this is nearby, you're in good luck because this plant will help you prevent complete liver failure. Has anybody seen this plant before?
No.
Little did we know, we had a special guest interrupt Joel's class session.
Snake? Where? Stop. Stay still. Stay still. Oh wow, a very snake-like lizard. Oh, you got a really unique find right here. One is biting the neck of the other. This is exciting. Lizard sex. This is a rare sighting right here. These lizards have very tiny legs, so sometimes they get mistaken for snakes.
Yeah.
They live in soil. They're named for their strong jaws and pointy snout. It's called an alligator lizard. But it's rare to see two of them in going through
After
the
observing the alligator lizards, Joel explains that the plant with the unique pattern is actually an emergency antidote for poisoning by death cap mushrooms, or as mentioned earlier, Amanita mushroom.
It is not milkweed, it is milk thistle. Milkweed is has a milky sap inside. It doesn't look like somebody spilled milk on it. This one is eventually going to have a purple flower, and it's related to like artichoke, if you've ever seen an artichoke before. And it's very spiny. You can eat it just in the current raw state, but this is what the antidote for the most deadly poisonous mushroom you could accidentally eat here in Southern California. You want to eat this as quickly as possible. I don't know how they process it for the antidote.
What does
There
it
you go.
taste like?
Tastes like a salad.
Oh,
If you want to try it, you're welcome to take a piece.
I thought he was gonna say milk.
Joel, yeah, Coronimus cannabis. That's right.
This was the one right here. All of these are that. And that one looks. I'm not sure if that's.
Whoa, that's really
nasturtium
pretty.
Or
No, it's not. Take a picture.
Oh, ladybug. Hello.
It wasn't until we went further up where we had found unique mushrooms along the trail.
Diana, since you requested this one, you could do the honors if you're interested. If you can pull this out as carefully as you can without breaking the stalk.
This is where we learn more about the properties of a mushroom and the importance of their size,
Here.
the gills, the caps, and where they grow from.
Why don't we just pass this around gently so we can all look at it, and each person smell it if you're comfortable smelling it before you pass it on. And then look at all the details of this as best you can. Touch the stalk, and sometimes they're decurrent, which means they follow the stalk, down the stalk. Yeah, so, yeah, just look carefully. Yeah, there's also a margin. So a lot of times they're in-rolled. So the cap will actually curl inward, but you can see it's old enough now that it's flared out.
And
But
this is an interesting fact. There are certain mushrooms known as coprophilous fungi that actually grow from animal dung, like this button mushroom that is attached to it. I think that's personally gross, and I don't know if I could eat a mushroom that's attached to animal poop, but I mean, you do you.
How many of you are interested in foraging for food? Raise your hand. Okay, I figured. If you are inexperienced with mushroom foraging, you want to get good at identifying the most common ones that are near you. And there's another key. You want it to be big like that, at least that big.
At least.
I mean, there's some little ones over here that we can also spend some time with. But the problem with little ones, especially if you're consuming them, is once you cook them, they're almost nothing. Because they're mostly water anyway. And so you want something substantial, right? Especially if you're going to eat it. So that's important.
We would pass each mushroom around so that everyone could have a close-up of each hand-picked mushroom, and we would discuss it by smelling it, observing it, and overall analyzing each mushroom species that we saw.
What do we know about this mushroom as we're observing it? The gills.
The gills.
Yeah, and do you notice how close together the blades are? They're real close together. What else is special about it? You notice how at the base it curves?
Yeah.
Notice that? It's got a noticeable like J or L curve at the base. And you know when you hop around at family reunions in a potato sack? Imagine Amanitas doing that, right? Imagine that visual. They're hopping around in these sacks, right? If you saw a sack at the base of that thing, that would be a major red flag. You'd be like, uh-oh. Concerning, isn't it?
where's the sack?
All this papery stuff that's around the edge there.
Oh, that's a sack?
Is the sack near the root?
Yeah, it's going to be at the base of the stalk. Do you notice the umbo? Do you see this bump in the center? That's important too.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Like the sack means probably
Could
poisonous?
be poisonous. Yeah, it could be an amanita.
Which younger?
Oh, interesting.
Or is it new? Because this one's dead, right?
Your
You
hat,
said?
too.
Yeah, my head.
Or this one's.
Thursday. It was Thursday. So something like that. I think that's when these came out. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like from nothing to just within a few hours. So I can cut through there and wait. Yeah, and see if it lactates.
And here,
I don't think it's
Joel
going
also
to,
brought
but
a
this
book
is-
called Mushrooms Demystified, which is a comprehensive guide to help you identify which mushroom
By
you are
David
looking
Aurora.
at.
It's a little out of date, so there's actually better, newer books, but this is actually I still recommend this one. And it
Apparently,
has
this comprehensive guide is to help identify which mushrooms you see on the ground or whatever ones you want to eat as well.
spend some time with. But it has gills, so it would be in the section starting on page 58. The lactarius mushrooms or milk caps, they are typically spicy like eating chili peppers.
Yum.
I mean like really spicy. If you try to break the gills off, are they brittle?
No.
They now break, oh you want to try it? Go ahead. Now break the stem. See how it snaps? Oh, it's fibrous.
bendy.
Do you see that? There are some stems that are going to be chalky and break apart really crumbly. This one is not.
Can we put this on a pizza?
This is looking a lot like a russula,
That
but
looks so cool.
that sack is a little bit.
Is at Costco, you could just break off the stems. Comes off easily. This one's like, let me hold on to my dear life.
Wild.
So does it look like any of these?
No.
They're the same, huh?
No,
Kind of, like
because the top goes up.
The top's more flat.
There's no top. It's too round.
Yeah, there's no.
It's more
It's like
See
inverted.
these partial veils right here too? Does
Yeah.
it doesn't have any veil?
No.
Yeah. So
Ooh, it kind of looks like this one. I feel like it looks like this one.
yeah, maybe.
But we just can't see the top.
Partial veil is absent. Sac-like vulva. Look at that sac. That's it's
That's that.
so we might be getting into a category of amanitas that
Now everyone's backs away.
let's
Near you.
if it was Amanita vaginata, edible when cooked and fairly good.
Also, just a question, but does it matter that the stem is like
There we go.
taller versus shorter? Is it
Yes.
just because it's
Yes,
thinner?
thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
The stem length does matter. Okay, so
Outside.
length does matter.
361, yeah, in mushrooms.
That's what he said, not me. I was asking the questions here. These are funny.
Are we getting closer?
It looks like this guy.
It does. I don't know what this is for sure. We have some clues. What we can do is photograph this intensely. If one of us wanted to take it, we could spend the time keying it out.
This thing.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I didn't
you rub
really
your
touch
finger,
this before.
Look at this.
Oh,
So this automatically, these are a different species. So we got a third one. This is a brittle gill.
It's almost like metallic.
Oh yeah, this.
But why does it look all...
So this might be.
Reflective.
This is interesting because it
Does this one
has a rubbery.
It's exotic, like it'll give you a good time.
Color of the gill.
It's like a flower. Yeah. It's like a really pretty flower.
As we head back onto the main trail, we attempted to look for more mushrooms around the area. What I really loved about this experience is that it was very educational. It was something that I couldn't imagine myself doing, but since the opportunity was presented, there was no way that I wasn't going to do it, and I'm glad that I did.
If you're having trouble, you can come closer than that. It's not going to attack you. If you've never identified this plant before, I would encourage you to get as close as you can to that. It's my pleasure. I'll do my best to identify.
We just got done with our nature hike, saw a few mushrooms, and it was really cool because Barefoot Joel showed us a lot of things in and around Eaton Canyon. We actually didn't go to the waterfall, which I thought we were, but we went off the beaten trail and saw mushrooms, 2 lizards making love, heading back home to go make pizza with friends, and then unfortunately tomorrow's Monday, so we have to go back to work. But yeah, had a good time. I personally want to say thank you to my friend Diana for inviting me and Oliver to go with her group, Joel for being the wonderful naturalist that he is, and everyone else for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my day out in Eaton Canyon foraging mushrooms. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!